Hello everybody and welcome to my video, Getting Tidier. I hope you're all well and I hope you've had a great weekend as I record this on Sunday. So I wanted to start off by saying thank you to everybody who's following me, and so you can see the percentages of where people are from. As you know, I always find this really interesting. So I've got a very busy video for you today. Where I'm spending a lot of time getting ready to put the Christmas decorations up. Now, I got particularly frustrated Saturday evening. We were going out to a 50th birthday party and, it took double the amount of time to get ready because I was trying to find things, B, I was climbing over things, and it was extremely frustrating. I then helped my daughter to get ready and was drying her hair and styling her hair so that by the time we actually left, my hair was still half wet. So I wasn't really ready. And I had started to get ready quite early, but just felt like everything takes so long because I'm hunting for things, climbing over things, because obviously where I've taken everything out of the cupboards, that is all still a complete muddle. So this was actually earlier in the day, so I did manage to get quite a lot done. So if I hadn't have worked a lot of Saturday, goodness knows what it would have been like Saturday evening when I was trying to get ready. So here in the video, I'll try to show you a little bit of what the space is like in the cupboard. Now, of course, the lights don't work at the moment in here. There's full electric in these cupboards and there's several lights, but unfortunately they all stopped working at the same time. My husband's going to replace the bulbs. So it was quite a lot of space, and when I showed you down towards one end, that's got those three full-size plastic containers. So as you can see, you can get in there and sit up. It's a big space. So on one of my previous videos, I mentioned about these bags. Now, has anybody come across any bags that don't reinflate? Because what I'm finding is I'm spending all this time taking all the air out, and I know a few of you have said don't bother using a pump, just use a hoover, but I can't get my hoover to attach to it. So I'm spending all this time taking all the air out, and then they just reinflate as soon as I've put them into the cupboard. So what am I doing wrong? Are there better bags? have bought the proper, labelled bags. I've also used the Amazon own ones, but they both seem to have the same sort of problem. So what I'm trying to do with the cupboards is I'm putting things right towards one end, which we're not going to kind of use very often or refer to. So like, for instance, clothes, some very old books that my daughter had when she was really small, the ones I want to keep. They're all going right towards one end, and I'm trying to think about Marie Kondo when I do this. Then the middle section will be all the camping things. And then the things really close to this cupboard door that I'm sitting in front of, that will be all the suitcases that we need access to more frequently. So you can see, and I know some of you are going to be laughing, I was going through another bag of cuddly toys. These cuddly toys have actually sat at my feet for the whole week while I work in a bin bag. I took them out the other day and I just put them in there. So I was going through this bag, you know how I need to sometimes check what things my daughter wants to keep, what things she wants to get rid of. So I was going through the bag and she was saying whether she wanted to keep or whether she wanted to get rid of. And we got rid of quite a few, which is good. So I think pretty much another bag has been filled from the things that I worked on here. So I've got two big bags now that are going to go to the charity shop. And I've also got a couple of things which are like brand new that I thought if I get to the charity shop really quickly, then someone might be able to buy a cheap present for someone for Christmas. Particularly as I've seen posts and people have told me about posts. Remy Clogg the other day mentioned about someone that she knows that helps out in a charity shop, that just before Christmas the charity shops are nearly empty, and then after Christmas the charity shops get loads. But often people feel for the mums and dads that pop in to see whether there's anything they can get, like family members, for those people particularly that are counting the money carefully before Christmas. So there were also a few toys with labels on that my daughter was happy to get rid of. So hopefully they might make a couple of nice little extra Christmas presents for somebody. So I managed to sort out lots of things within this bag. I've then moved that black plastic bag's quite thin, not very strong at all. So later in the video, I popped that into another white bag. I could probably, again, put that into one of these space saver bags if I can find a space saver bag that actually works. That's the problem. So I put a lot of the stuff back into the cupboard. I go into the cupboard a few times and shuffle things around, although obviously I know it's quite boring for you when I'm in the cupboard and you can't actually see what I'm doing. So I cut the video at that point so you kind of don't get completely bored. And then also on the video, you'll see me working a lot on the lounge. So after I've sorted out a lot in the cupboards and a lot on the floor, you'll see me sorting stuff out in the lounge on this video, sorting out through piles and piles of papers and managing to get rid of loads of paperwork, and just really working on the lounge, completely cleaning and clearing it, ready to put the Christmas decorations up. Now, I don't do this every single year. I always sort of do a bit of a clean where the tree is going to go. But this year I just kept thinking more around decorating the room when there was lots of dust behind the sofa, etc, etc. So I really wanted to pull out the sofas, which I know a few of you will be pleased about, and really clear and clean. And also, because the heating's coming on quite regularly now, because it's much cooler, every time the heating comes on, my daughter starts coughing because of her dust allergy. So I thought, well, the more that we clear out the dust, the better it's going to be for her. So since I last spoke to you, I've had a busy few days. So on Thursday, I worked and had quite a few meetings. And then at lunchtime, I drove to a place to meet a work colleague who works in IT, because we're preparing for quite a big kind of event that we last did about 3 years ago. I usually lead, but he's got a significant kind of role in the work we're doing. And I usually chair the meetings. So that was quite funny. A few years ago, there was an audit and a review completed at work, and that showed the importance of this work that we do. But somehow the report managed to get agreed and accepted, saying that Emma was the lead in this area. I don't know how that managed to be published like that. I think I fed back on it so many times that I had read the document so many times. I didn't read it the very last time. And I think somebody in the other department then made a fundamental change, and that wasn't highlighted to me. So the document was published to say Emma was going to lead in this certain area. It's a little bit like if you imagine that you were, I don't know, let me think of a suitable analogy, that you're a chef in a restaurant and that somehow a document was published to say that you're going to also buy all the products that you're going to cook. You know, usually it's done by a different person, isn't it? So I raised it about a year ago with the director of the department and said, just to flag this, I am happy to chair the meetings. I am happy to have a significant role in this project, but that's not my responsibility. And he said, oh, no, absolutely, I agree with you. But it's rumbled on a little bit. And now a number of people who went along and supported when I did all the chairing of the meetings, now they realise that the work really does need to be done. And they also recognise that they are supposed to be leading. So I met them for a lunch appointment. So it's quite nice. We had lunch together and we talked through the work. That finished at quite a good sort of time. So I came home and did a bit more work at home. And then on Friday was a good day because I managed to get through loads of work. You know, when you have one of those days where you just think, wow, I managed to achieve so much today. So I had a number of different meetings, but I think it was also because in the morning I was originally due to go into the office for my second job, when actually the Fridays is always my first job. And I was going to kind of move things around, but in the end I said, look, I just don't have time. I need to prioritise first job. So I left it in my diary. So I had this big block where I could actually focus on things and work, as opposed to just, sometimes I feel like I'm just in and out meetings. And then in the evening, I got to about 6 o'clock and that flashed up that I'd got a meeting at a fire station. I thought, oh my goodness, I'd completely forgotten. So my husband has sorted out dinner, which he always does on a Friday, which was good. I then got ready, drove all the way to the fire station. When I got there was no answer. So I suspected they were out on a call. So I checked through via the main control room, and they were out on a call. So I thought, well, if it's 15-20 minutes, I don't mind waiting. But it was going to be an hour. So I thought, I want to come home. So I came home, and I've now got to reorganise that meeting, which is a bit of a pain because I really want to get that piece of work finished and forgotten about. And then on 30th, I made another mistake with the diary. Can you believe? I know why it is. It's because I'm trying to manage a work diary, which is colour coordinated with 2 jobs, then a personal diary, then my daughter's diary is overlaid onto one of my diaries, and then my husband's got 2 diaries. So there is obviously the potential to miss things. So we were watching television in bed Saturday morning, and suddenly it flashed up on my phone, Italian lesson. I was like, oh my goodness, we're supposed to be at the Italian lesson at 10 o'clock. And it was about 9:25 at that point. So I quickly messaged the teacher. And actually at the same time I was messaging her, she was messaging me to say that she needs to pop out to the post office and she was going to be late. So I messaged and said, is it possible to have the lesson 10:15 to 11:15? So she said no, because I've got a lesson at 11. And I thought, well, this is a bit cheeky. It's a bit one-sided. So it's okay for her to be late for the lesson because she's got to go to the post office. But it's not okay for me to be a bit later because she's got another lesson at 11. Okay, she doesn't want to have the second person late and then her day end up, all the appointments are late. But then she said to me, I said, well, unfortunately, there's no way I can get there for 10 o'clock. So she then said, well, unfortunately, if you cancel, you'll have to pay for the lesson. So I then said, right, come on, let's go quick, which I don't think my daughter was very pleased about because she was quite liking the idea of watching television and having breakfast in bed. And it was a bit of a rush, but we managed to get there about 10 past. So I absolutely love hearing her talk in Italian. She took one of her big books, Il libro del bosco, the book of the forest. It's got beautiful pictures in by Tony Wolfe. Anybody know Tony Wolfe? He's absolutely amazing artist. He's English and he's had, his pictures have been published in books across the whole world. I love his pictures. That was really part of the good reason why I bought the book. And she spent some time in the lesson looking through that. And then in the afternoon is when we got ready for the party. And it was a surprise party and it was really nice. So it was my husband's side of the family. So all the family were there and the evening went really, really well. Apart from the fact that for about 2 hours, my daughter constantly said, are we going home now? I want to go to bed. Are we going home now? I want to go to bed. And then she got a bit tearful because she was so tired. And I thought, at that point, I did want to go, but they'd still not cut the birthday cake. And the last time they had a big party was 10 years ago when she was only 2 and she didn't go at all. And I did start thinking to myself, maybe I'd have been better to organise a babysitter. But I thought obviously she does get tired during the week, but I thought at 12, she'd be okay with it as a one-off. But then I did wonder whether maybe she was hungry. So obviously they had a buffet and everything there, but there was nothing at all that she could eat and nobody had checked anything about what she could eat. But we'd bought some things and also my husband bought some crisps. So after she'd had that, she then had like a second wind, so to speak. So she danced a little bit, which was nice. And then we came home. So Sunday morning, we got up and went over to the family members to give them their birthday presents. Because he wanted to see them unwrap the birthday presents. So went to their house and all the family were there. And then we came home. They did then go on to having a meal somewhere, but that was quite short notice where they mentioned that. We were also had organised to do something else because we thought it was just the party last night, and we don't always see the person on their actual birthday. And when anything like a short notice, I have to like meet with a chef and talk to them about the food. And what I think is also harder is the older my daughter becomes, the harder it is when she looks around in a restaurant and sees everyone else's plate with burgers, lasagna, all these different things, and she's got a jacket potato and baked beans. And some places, like Nando's in the United Kingdom, they are very, very good with allergies. But generally speaking, for your local sort of pub restaurant type place, there's not really that much they can do. So it'll be something like a salad, or as I said, a jacket potato with baked beans. And I think when she's small, it's kind of a bit easier. But as she gets older, or she'll look, she's no point in her looking at the menu and saying, "Oh, can I have a burger?" Because the burger will probably have breadcrumbs in it, or wheat in it, or egg in it, and they won't have a bun which is suitable. Places are getting better, but it's also whether I trust them. So when my mum had her birthday a few years ago and we all went out for a meal, she phoned up the place and spoke to the chef, and then I went out with her and met the chef and the catering manager, went through all the menu. So then you feel reassured, don't you? I just wouldn't turn up at a place and have no idea of actually what she was going to have. And then in the end, we were going to go out to a place called Wyndham, which is in Norfolk, because they have the Christmas lights on and all the late night opening for shops and everything. We've gone out there for years. My dad and my sister, but it pelted down with rain, and my dad had also made plans with his partner's children. So it was one of the children's birthday or grandchildren's birthday. So even though we go out every single year, there was arrangements that had been made that didn't really involve me. So then it pelted down with rain. So we decided, well, maybe it's not meant to be. So that's why we spent so much time. I did say to my husband, well, actually, is it wise? We've got so many things out for Christmas. The house is in a kind of disarray with everything I'm trying to do with the cupboards. Actually, and it's raining, does it make sense just to stay at home and do some more cleaning and get ready to actually put some of these Christmas decorations up? Because we've got boxes on the landing, boxes in the bedroom, boxes in the old playroom, basically boxes everywhere. And my husband's done a fantastic job with the Christmas Lego village in the dining room. I was so pleased with that. Obviously, I showed that very short clip to you, didn't I? But if you wait to the end of the video, you'll see all the little houses, and he's managed to program the train so it stops in certain places. And he's done little fairy lights along the edge. He's used some of my white, like toy stuffing fabric or quilting white fabric. That sort of stuffing stuff that you use for quilting, to put snow along the edge. And it's really, really good. Although it's funny, we did laugh and say it's a shame I wasn't recording at that point, because the first programme went wrong and the train was getting faster and faster and faster, and it shot off the end, hit the wall, and broke into what looked like a million pieces. But he managed to find all the pieces and build it all again. Nope, my husband's just said that he's still missing one little Lego piece, so I'm glad he overheard me doing this voiceover, so I can be very careful next time I go in there sweeping up or hoovering. There's one little white piece still missing. So I think it was Brooke that said to me about pulling my sofa out. So Brooke, you'll be pleased to see this. I really had a good sort out of all the things under there. And there's lots of things that do not belong under my sofa. So I've taken everything out, cleaned everything, and the things that I have put back are the video recorder, which does just go there in the event of us ever needing to play any videos. And I've got about 6 videos that I need to get onto a DVD. And the reason why I haven't is I don't trust some of these places that do them. I'm convinced that I'll then get rid of my video and the DVD will get scratched or there'll be a problem with it and I won't actually be able to watch the things. So when I was 16 years old, I had been saving for several years for a video camera. Now, video cameras were really not common. It was quite unusual for people to have them. And I saved up my birthday money and my Christmas money in order to buy my own video camera. And then as I got close, because I needed more than £500, so it was a lot of money and a lot of time that I'd saved, I think my mum had said, well, yes, if you save up, you can get it. And then as I got closer, I think she thought, wow, she's getting there and that she really is going to get it. So some of those tape videos were things that I recorded when I was, when I was about 16 or 17. So there's a video there. I had to do some artwork, which involved interviewing my mum while she was ironing, which I've not seen this video since, for years. There's also a video there of my godmother, who sadly has now passed away. There's also a video of some aunts, which sadly have passed away. So I do want to get them put onto a DVD, and I'd love to watch them again and show my daughter, who's, heard a lot about my aunts, but she never met my aunts. We never really had grandparents that took any interest in us when we were little. My dad's parents had died before I was born, and my other grandparents weren't really interested in children. So we had these two aunts, which were absolutely lovely and so interested in me and my sister, and we'd go and sing songs and they'd ask what we were up to, and they were just really lovely. So yeah, there's a video of them reading poetry, so I'd love to get that changed and then be able to watch it. I still talk about them regularly. My daughter hears about them, but we haven't got any photographs of them, so she's got no idea what they look like. So that'd be lovely if I could sort out one of these videos. So you can see the amount of dust. I really did go to town with this. So I got an old paintbrush and I dusted all the way along the wall, all the way along the ledges, and all on the pipe work to get all the dust behind. So I spent quite some time, but I thought there's no point pulling it out and just, brushing it really quickly with a dustbin and brush. I want to clean it really, really well. And the funny thing was, when my husband came in, he said, "What's that pile in the corner?" He said, "Is that dust?" I said, "Yeah, it's dust." So I swept it all up, and then I used a damp cloth to wipe it and just get everything off. And then after I'd done it, I then went and washed the cloth and wiped it all over again to really make it as clean as possible. I also, when it was I think it was my 30th birthday, maybe my 40th birthday, I asked for a set for poker. I remember years ago when I worked in financial sector and they organised this poker night, not with real money, and I just was naturally seemed to be very good. Obviously beginner's luck, but everyone laughed and said, "Oh, you made out you'd never done this before, and how can you be so good?" So I just decided to ask for the set, and then I thought I'm going to learn how to do some of it properly. But I haven't got a mat. I need a proper cloth to go on the table. And I've got this idea of how I'm going to learn, but I haven't actually got anybody to play it with. I suppose you can't play it with one person, can you? I don't know. I don't know much about the rules at all. But then I just have got this idea that again, not with money, but that I could have a poker night and all invite family members round. But that is kind of a bit of an idea of cloud cuckoo land, to be honest. But I just like the idea of it. So I bought this really good set. So at the moment, that set lives under the sofa. So I hope you're not too disappointed to see me put some things back under there. But everything else has come out. And there's a mixture of things being put in the bin, things that I'm going to be putting on eBay, and some things that I need to sort out. A couple of years ago, I saw some Klingons advertised on eBay and managed to buy a box of Klingons, someone's entire collection from the 80s, because there was about 4 that I really liked. And of course, I took the 4 out that I really liked, and I've got all the others. I just think it's really funny how my sort of thought process has changed on some of these things, because there's no way that I would buy a box of 30 Klingons now, which I then, it's literally been sitting underneath the sofa since I bought it. So I've looked through the box of Klingons that I've got left. There's one I'm going to give my sister, because I'm sure she had it in the 80s. There's one that I'm going to keep myself, and all the others I think I'll just put on Marketplace or put back on eBay. They are cute. Those of you that remember Klingons, I don't know whether they were popular in other countries, but they were really popular, sort of, I guess, maybe in the 70s as well. 70s and 80s. They just became really popular, and people would collect them, and there was little koalas and little bears. Some of them are really cute. And then I got loads of paperwork, which also could be put in the bin or shredded. Some of it, when I put it where I sit, it was in date and I needed to do something with it, and it's gone on so long, time has passed so much, that some of it just needs to be put straight in the bin. Or I've had a second letter about the same thing, and I've dealt with the second letter but not the first letter. So you see me sitting through and sorting some of that paperwork out on the video, but I'm going to go through some of your comments now. So thank you so much for taking the time to add comments to my videos. I read every single comment. I try to reply to every single one. Sometimes I miss the odd one, but I do try to reply to them all. Thank you for those of you that just put hello Emma. All really helps getting more and more people to see my videos. And as you know, when I get to 3,000 subscribers, I've got my giveaway. The giveaway rules I have to have in line with YouTube's requirement. They are on my community page. So my giveaway is no way connected to YouTube. I'm solely responsible for the giveaway. It's not connected to YouTube in any way. If there's any problem with the giveaway, that is solely my responsibility. But I'm going to be giving away some of my macrame hangers. And quite a few of you have said that you're interested. Now, if you haven't told me that you're interested, and you are, please do let me know. And I'm going to do... names out of a hat. I'm going to put all the names in a hat, and then I'm going to pick names out. And I've got 4 macrame hangers that I'm going to post anywhere in the world. So the first comment is from Linda Hayes. And Linda says, "Hi, this is Linda from Indiana in the US. Thanksgiving is this week, and it's a beautiful holiday. It's a day to be grateful for every blessing and spend time with those we love. Those who are fortunate enough to have a Thanksgiving meal usually have roast turkey with many different side dishes and a pumpkin pie. It's traditional. I love that day as it is focused on what we have and not what we want. Blessings to you and your family today and every day." I thought, what a lovely post that is. And there's lots of different emojis related to the things that are connected to Thanksgiving. It does really sound like a really lovely holiday. It really does. And thinking about all the things that we're thankful for, which is so important. And actually, I didn't tell you that on Saturday, we did pop out really briefly to a sort of traditional church Christmas fair, which was nice. And they'd got these stars that you could make and add it to a little backing. And it was sort of slightly raised, and they're going to hang them all in the church. And people were invited to write down the things that they're grateful for. And it's going to turn into Christmas decorations. So I thought that was lovely. Virginia Goss 417 says, "Hi Emma, what a great video, and your voiceovers are such a treat to listen to." Oh, a nice thing to say. Not many decluttering channels have this. It really allows us to get to know you. Oh, that's good. I like how I get to know all of you as well with the different things that you tell me about. I've seen that you were decluttering your memorabilia bins. That is such a great feat, and hats off to you for your efforts. Thank you for sharing another day in the life of Ms. Emma and family. Until next time, bye. Oh, that's lovely. Thanks, Virginia. I really appreciate that post. Carolyn says, "Emma, that's so great that you're teaching your daughter about money in a great way." Thank you, Carolyn. Sandy says, "I love to watch your progress in the upstairs storage. I do not know what silk pie is, probably know it by a different name. So we've ascertained that it's like a chocolate dessert, which sounds delicious. Sandy says, we will have ham, potatoes, gravy, dinner rolls, apple pie, green beans and cranberry sauce for Thanksgiving. I'm in Arkansas. Is that right? Arkansas. I said it right, first time. I'm intrigued. So you're having cranberry sauce with ham, are you? And what are dinner rolls? I've never heard of dinner rolls. So if anyone could tell me that, that'd be lovely. But that sounds really nice, Sandy. I hope you had a lovely meal. Holly says, brilliant job, Emma. Well done. We have Lego lovers in this house too. Holly, I really need you to see my village. Can you show your eldest? Holly says, I'd love it if you ever feature a little bit of a sneak peek with the Lego, as my eldest would love to see. He often hears your videos whilst I'm doing things. Okay, so Holly's eldest son, this bit at the end of the video is for you, okay? So ask your mum to fast forward it to get to the end. Well, obviously we want her to watch the whole video, but she can fast forward it and watch the bit at the end. That's especially for you. And I'm going to show the little Lego village in the daytime, and then we turn the light off and you can see how it's all lit up and all the individual buildings have been built. And as I said, my husband's programmed the train to stop and start at a whole range of different things, and he's still planning to do other things with it, so it's going to get more and more advanced, I'm sure. I hope you enjoy it. Teresa469 says, fantastic video, Emma. I don't always comment, but I always watch. Thank you very much, Teresa. I absolutely loved seeing all your daughter's beautiful little clothes. It made me emotional, so I could understand how you'd feel, and all her baby tinies and board books. But amazing memories, I'm sure. If you're getting rid of any of the tinies, the charity shops will be glad coming up to Christmas for families with not much money. Yeah, you're right. And a couple of you, Teresa, and a couple of other people said about this. So I think that's good. But I know you do your bit like us all. I think those attic cupboards, if you are like the wardrobe in Narnia. Thank you for motivating us all, and God bless your beautiful family. Thank you, Teresa. I love Narnia. I love Narnia. I can remember when it first came out, and my mum and dad and sister, we'd all go to this place and we'd buy Turkish Delight, and we'd come back home, have dinner and sit in front of the telly and eat our Turkish Delight. I love Narnia. I think I need to do something like that leading up to Christmas. Watch a Christmas box set. That'd be nice. Jen, maybe have the mindset when you're decluttering to think of those this weekend that don't have a home for Christmas this year, that got flooded. They will need to replace Christmas presents, clothes and books, etc. Oh, I know, that's so awful. So awful what people have gone through. Their homes completely flooded. Horrendous. Karen Howard, Karen's in Canada, and Karen says, our Thanksgiving was in October. So this is the post where Karen explained about silk pie. So French silk pie is like a chocolate mousse with whipped cream topping. I need to find out about this. I don't want the whipped cream topping, but I do very much want to try French silk pie as a chocolate mousse. I wonder whether they sell anything similar in England. Does anybody know? Can anybody tell me? If not, I might need to find a recipe, and I'll do a little video and you can all laugh at me making silk pie. Because I'm sure, only that you'd laugh at me, because I'm sure it won't be as good as what you make and what you have. I'm truly amazed at how much stuff you have and what you're able to get accomplished. I can see why you can feel overwhelmed, but you're doing an amazing job. Oh. Carolyn says, I'd probably donate the rugs. You've had them a good long time. And Stacey says she's having a traditional Thanksgiving meal. And she had artichokes once and it wasn't to her liking. I think it does depend how you have them, Stacey. And a couple of people did ask me. Now, how I like them best is roasted. Yummy, yummy, yummy. They're very, very good for your gut bacteria. Very good. Andrea says, as a child, we learned about the official Thanksgiving traditions in school. All I remember is the Pilgrims and the Native American Indians came together for a meal. But of course, as believers, we know that all blessings come from the Lord. And so the Christian community focuses all on the Lord and his much grace and mercy, bountiful grace and mercy. So when we say grace, we also go around the table and say all the things we're thankful for, small and great. Do you know, I think I might have read that comment out before, Andrea, but I didn't put a heart on it. If I put a heart on it, that means I know that I've said it. But sometimes I lose track because I've read it, and sometimes I then read it out to my husband and I reply to it. Oh. Nana Tracy is watching from Sunderland. Those cupboards in your room really have lots of space to hold lots. I gave up on those space saver bags. I bought good ones and they just inflated over time. I think it's not just me then. I think a few people have had this. I have to chuckle when you open another storage area in the loft. This is from Carolyn. I've seen you crawl in there to reach everything. I don't normally crawl in there unless I'm taking everything out. But because I completely emptied it and then I want to put everything back differently, that's why I got in there. I don't make a habit of that. Like every time I get the Christmas decorations out, I don't normally get in there. It's just because I'm trying to clear everything out. Tracy said, ha ha, you made me laugh. I'm 5 foot tall and have great difficulty with duvet covers. Yeah, they're not designed for people who are shorter. I'm 5'4.5". That half is very important in my family. And yeah, I'm just not tall enough to do the quilt covers. Decluttering Queen. So I don't have a tree, but I'm going to put a few decorations up. Karen Davis says, years ago, someone gave me some Jerusalem artichokes they had grown. I'd never heard of them. I'd like to say they were delicious, but I don't remember. You are the second person I've ever heard speak of them. So I actually got these for free. My mum saw somewhere advertised and they were digging them up. They've got too many because they grow like, if you imagine like how potatoes grow, they grow the same and they spread really quickly and fairly easily. And so, yeah, I got some from my mum, dug them in the ground and they grew like billio. How do you cook them? Yeah, roasting is the best way. You could probably put them in like a mash, but mine tend to be quite small and roasted is best in my opinion. I'm just a bit disappointed that I haven't got many this year. That woman who bought the theatre didn't need to be rude. I'm glad the theatre is sold and it's over with. Me too. Yeah, I agree, Karen. I've had a similar irritating encounters with people when they are the ones who are not paying attention to what's written. Lucky there are enough good people out there to balance them out. Yeah, you're right. I completely agree with that post. Pam says, what an awful thing over the selling of your daughter's theatre. Some people. I've given up on vacuum bags and no matter what brand I bought, they all reinflate. Very frustrating. Yes, it's definitely not just me then. I don't think I could quite appreciate how much you have in the bedroom. Wow. It just seems to keep coming, doesn't it? Well done for persevering with it. There really is so much. And I did say back to Pam, I did apologise for my husband for the mess, but he just said it's a means to an end, and he's not complained once of the fact that he's got to climb over so much. So I'm pleased about that. I did find another violin in the cupboard, and I've got no idea where this violin came from. It's not one which is a particularly good violin. It's got no strings. I can vaguely remember having one that I used to hang on the wall, and I think it's that one. So I'm now deciding what to do with it, because if I sell it as it is, well, it's not worth anything as it is. But if I buy the strings for it are probably going to cost £25, and then it's probably only worth about 40. So I'm not quite sure what I'll do with that. Lizzie says, Emma, use a vacuum cleaner to take the air out of the bags and lay them flat on the floor, not standing up. Oh, if I leave them flat on the floor, okay, that's why some of them end up being a funny shape. I didn't think about that. And you must leave a 2-inch gap at the top end and make sure they are well and truly sealed first. It's been the bane of my life, and some of them are useless. The best I've found come from Costco. Okay, Lizzie, thanks for that. We didn't have a Costco, do we? I'm just trying to think whether we've got a Costco. My husband is saying that we have. Miranda Friday. Hi, Emma. I'm cooking dinner and I'm watching. And Lizzie also said, could you hang the door to open outwards and leave all the room space? Lots of people do this in small spaces. My bathroom is one of them. That's interesting. And then Cheryl says, Legos are collectibles and therefore more valuable. I would take my time, sort them out and store them away until she's an adult. They are like an investment and worth the space. My friend did this with her son's Star Wars toys. Just an idea. You are right, and I certainly don't need any temptation, Cheryl, to keep things. I really don't. But the problem that I've got is I've got so much stuff. I just don't have the space for the things that I need. And I really do need to have space for all my suitcases. So I do need to get rid of some. And I think I will need to get rid of some of the Lego. And then the last post for today is from Brooke. So Brooke said Jason used to make our bed and wash our shower curtain because he's 6'3". So Jason is Brooke's husband, who she sadly lost a few years ago. That's very tall, 6'3". Brooke, I thought that you were similar sort of height to me, but are you taller than me? Brooke says, what is that phrase? You give them an inch and they'll take a mile. Be glad you took the high road and gave her a partial refund. I'm not sure I would have. Oh, I love this. This bit of Brooke's post is so funny. She says, I think you'll find this funny. Once we sold a couch. They did not strap it down well, and on the way home, one of the cushions fell off. I'm not sure how much they went back and looked for it, but they reached out asking for refunds because they didn't have all the cushions. Oh, honestly, some people. Brooke says, I've got my Christmas decorations spread out last week and started putting them out last night and today. 10 more days till I leave to meet my friend in Chicago, where I may add more to my collection since we visit the Christmas markets. Oh, I'd love to see a photograph of the Christmas markets. That'd be nice. Oh, that's funny. I'm glad you shared that little bit about the sofa. Honestly, some people. So I'm getting towards the end of my mammoth video now, and you will have seen that I haven't actually put much Christmas decorations up. So it's so much work to prep and just make sure that I'm putting them up in a clean lounge and they're all ready. And I've been obviously doing some washing and trying to keep on top of my other jobs in the kitchen. I didn't do any washing up on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So the kitchen has got really, really quite bad. My husband did loads. So he would think he was listening to the rugby or some sport. And while I was doing the lounge, my husband was doing the kitchen. My daughter got a lot of her homework done by herself. And then she just had free time to do whatever she wanted. And I called up to her and she was finishing this book off. And she'd said to me a couple of weeks ago, she really was not keen on the book. And I said, oh, come on, you just finish the book off and then you can choose a different one. Because I bought it for her. It's a brand new one. And the last 2 days, she's read the half of the book. She just finished it. And now she's saying, I want the next one. That's not out until 2025, but I can't wait until the next one comes out. I said, I thought you said a few days ago you really didn't like it. She said, well, the first part of it was quite slow. But once I really got into it, it got really, really good. So that was good. So, Yeah, so all in all, a busy weekend. So I hope you've had a lovely weekend. I look forward to your comments and your ideas and suggestions on my video. And thank you for those of you who are helping me to get to 3,000 subscribers. I'm nearly there now. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.
It's really good.
Can we watch the little train yet?
This is the first test run.
We'll turn it off.
Yeah, turn the light out.
We will have some of the lights.
I like the lights at the back. That's good. See
We
it?
will
The
have
lights.
some of the
No,
lights
you
on
need
the
lights at the
houses.
back.
Yeah.
What?
You need little
You can't
twinkling
really-
lights
like
along the
little white
back.
lights?
Little white lights
Yeah.
Oh
white
yeah,
lights.
twinkling
to
lights.
light up. Is the train moving now?
You haven't got the pad on yet.
You need to press the green button.
Real village, Santa's village.
Oh, okay.
We got to just do it.
Oh, I wanted to do it.
Here it goes round, does it?
You need to make it come round the corner. Like, use one of the separating things.